That's about as American as it gets, bro.
It's America.
Is this thing on?
Check 1 2 1 2.
It's fucking crazy.
They're invincible, indestructible. These limits are like 10,000 years.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hunt for Greatness podcast.
Baby, 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 I believe in a thing called love, just as a heart.
I think I saw a snap with you doing that
Dude,
the
I
other
was
day.
killing it. I kill that song. That's my go-to song.
How gnarly are those guys?
Dude, I've messed with the Darkness. They coming out with
The
some
Darkness, that was the name of
They're
it.
coming out with some new albums that are pretty decent, dude. For real, I listen to them on the reg. There's a lot of music that, because I travel so much for work, that I just like find going to California and back, and I'll just get on it for a second and binge it.
You do a lot of driving, right?
Dude, so ridiculous amount of driving. So I've been to Colorado this year. I've been.
This is Tanner, everybody. Welcome to the Hunt for Greatness podcast. We just get in straight into it.
We just start spitting it right off the rip. That's just how we do things. I haven't seen this man in a minute. I appreciate
I
you
love
having
you,
me.
bro. I was trying to find my theme song on here so we could rock it, but
Dude,
I don't know where it's at.
Do you want me to sing one or what?
I mean, you were singing
The
pretty.
Hunt for Greatness podcast.
Yeah. Hey, we can rock with that. I like that. Hunt
That's
for
a good
Greatness podcast, BX.
Coming at you live, _69.
Pancakes, bitches.
What?
So, last time you did the podcast, it was Greg,
Benjamin Lee Cole.
Benjamin Cole,
Yeah.
and somebody else, right?
No. And Chirac, the unforgettable Chirac was sitting in the living room pouting.
That's right.
Yeah,
And then we
yeah.
gigged some Flounder after
Oh,
that.
dude, stabbed some slabs. That was a good time.
They were nice. They were nice ones.
I'm kind of upset I didn't get to eat any, but, you know, what can you do?
Yeah.
When the boss makes the rules, you know, you can only do what they say. So
It was a lot of meat, bro. It was a lot of meat.
I hear that a lot.
So we were talking about earlier, everybody, how Post Malone and Yellow Wolf kind of bit our style. If you can see, like, I mean, look at us.
Dude, it's straight swag. The mullet's gone only because I had to revamp myself for a little while after, you know, 2 years of just rocking a mullet, and I was just like, it's got to go. So
It wasn't no half-ass mullet.
dude, it was a full-blown.
It was full ass, bro.
I mean, Jesse Tanner would have been proud of that mullet for sure.
Who is that?
That is the uncle from Full House.
Oh, yeah, dude. Jesse. Uncle Jesse.
Yeah. So I was trying to go for that mullet because, you know, everyone wants to go with, like, the flat top, like, the old school, like, and I just felt like it was, like, that someone was biting it. Everyone's biting this mullet trend right now, so I had to be a little different. So I had to go with, I wanted to go with something, like, that was clean.
It was natural, too. It was like a natural.
just straight flow.
Like, this is the guy who runs the trailer park type of mullet.
Absolutely. Like, I feel like I would stand there and I would have to accept you into the trailer park due to, like, just on grounds because I have a mullet and you
Absolutely. You're definitely like a trailer park tribe leader.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I actually just moved out of a trailer that I loved, and I hate that I'm not there anymore, but, you know, that's just the way the world works.
So you moved out of the trailer and the mullet had to go.
As soon as I left the trailer, the mullet came off.
I mean, that has something to do. It's like almost the spirit of the mullet almost.
It is. I mean, when you live on like 50 acres and you're just your main goal when you come home from working is deer hunting, putting corn out, and you just clean your double wide trailer, bush hogging, stuff like that. Like it's essentially a necessity to have the mullet.
Yeah.
And then when I left, I was like, man, we're just gonna revamp Tanner for a little while and just focus on Tanner. And I mean, I'm almost positive that it'll make a return soon, but it just had to go for now because you know I'm back in the game. Ladies out there, you know what I'm saying?
Holler at your boy.
Holla. No, I'm
He's
just
out
kidding.
here slinging that thing. So if you want trying to get a triple windmill to the mouth, hit my boy up. You know what I mean?
My favorite's the potty mouth. That's taking the old dookie and just getting domed out. That's the old potty mouth. So if you're down with it, holla.
I feel like a mullet is like a commitment to not caring about what anyone thinks about you.
I mean, I've had that problem my whole life. That's what seems to get me in most troubles, that I don't care about what everyone else thinks of me. But, like, I had to slow down because I was getting reckless with the mullet. It was getting out of
I mean, that
control.
thing was beautiful.
Dude,
What made you decide to grow a mullet?
So one day I was just, like, sitting there. Actually, Riff Raff had just started growing his mullet.
His is great.
And I always appreciated Theo Vaughn's mullet because his is just like a classy.
Yours
like,
was kind of similar.
It was. Theo had. I mean, he did a little more of the short on the top, but like I appreciated his mullet. And then when Riff Raff decided that he was going from just being the hoodest dude from G's the Gents to having the $1 million
to
mullet.
Dan Del Tony.
Yeah, Dale D'Antoni. You know, he had the $1 million mullet. I was like, shit. I could appreciate that. I could appreciate that mullet. So what it was is I was getting a haircut for Christmas, and I'd already like let it grow kind of crazy and shit. And then I was like, I told the lady friend at the time, I was like, yo, I'm going to go get a haircut. It was right before Christmas. We were going to Roanoke to spend it with my family. And I was just like, all right, she was sleeping, and I took off and come back with like a little baby mullet. And it took some time before she was automatically pissed because I didn't wear a hat around the house. I always wear one. And she was like, nah, I don't like that. She hated the mullet, absolutely hated it. But
I mean, if you're going to have a mullet, you have to wear a hat like that, though.
You got to.
You got to have a hat with like a NASCAR or a beer on it, or both.
Absolutely.
Which yours has.
And
both.
like,
we're trying to tell you guys about like
this style.
We're trying to tell you about how to really drip. I mean, if you really want to drip straight, trashy, white trashness out of your pores, we're the ones you need to talk to.
And like
let me tell you something. All right? Now, you guys might not have noticed this, and Tanner's so naturally dripped out that he probably just did it without thinking about it. But, like, okay, so normally you cut the sleeves off a NASCAR shirt. But if you notice on his sleeves, they're graphicked out. I mean, they got that. You can't cut a number 3 off a shirt. That's
Absolutely
blasphemy. Not. And then you got graphics on the other side. So this is a shirt that's totally acceptable not to cut the sleeves off of, if you'll notice, on his left arm and his right arm.
And
you probably
agree.
didn't even think about that. You probably just were like, okay, well, this is a great shirt. I'm dripped out, like just in the soul you're dripped out. So
I mean, you just
what is that on the bottom?
Mom and Pops.
What does that mean?
That was one of his sponsors.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was his license plate back in the day.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Car. But like, so I try to go for like the full-fledged, like, if I can, I want the full-fledged graphic tees, just because like it drifts all over.
They're so sick.
But like, yeah, so I have like a Kid Rock shirt. I purchased a Pantera shirt. It was like a late '90s Pantera shirt, and this dude that I make moonshine with, he's big into Pantera, and so I came in to visit him and his son, and we were making moonshine that night, and I had my Pantera shirt on, and he was like, you know, I want that Pantera shirt, and I was like, okay, well, you're gonna have to trade me out of one. And he was like, okay, man, you know, like, what? I got an extra Kid Rock shirt. Now, the Kid Rock shirt is sleeveless because Barney's an old school, like, he drips hard for an old head. Like, he's got some old school band, like, shirts and stuff like that. And it's like the front of it says, you've never met. And then the back of it says, motherfucker, quite like me.
Yeah.
And no sleeves.
Ooh, I like that.
And it's just so dingy. Like, so shirts like that, I'll de-sleeve. But that one was already. But most of the time, like, I try to keep the sleeves on it. And, like, I got a few connections. There's a guy I know out in Chattanooga that I get a lot of stuff from, that he stays plugged in on the old school drip. He keeps a bunch of stuff. His Instagram's Bloodthirsty Vintage.
Okay.
And like that dude stays plugged in on some awesome drip. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know when it's been a while since I've been steadily collecting the old school drip, but I know that Posty's got a shirt that I rock. Yellow's got a shirt that I rock. I actually was going to wear that one today, but I didn't. I went with this one because this old man gave it to me.
I love that one.
And
old man gave you that?
Yeah. So it's my buddy's dad. Both his boys moved away. One of them's in California. And then the other one lives over in Tennessee. So I've known him for a long time, and I always go and check on him and stuff. And he knows, like, I'm all the time wearing Dale or something crazy. And I was over one time, and I was checking on him, and I seen the tag. That's all I seen was the tag. And which I've cut it out now, but all I could see was the tag of the shirt. And I was like, yo, is that a Dale Earnhardt shirt? And he was like, yeah, I've had it for a long time. I bought it at the Bristol race. Oh. And I was like, can I look at it? And I pulled it out, and I was like, dude, that's so beautiful. And he was like, you can have it, actually. He's like, because I know that if anyone appreciate that shirt, it's you.
Yeah.
So it was a good come up, just like the Dale Earnhardt jacket. Solid come up, $30 off of some old woman off of Facebook.
Like a real official racing
Dude,
jacket.
I almost brought it and I didn't because I was like, I brought my dog with me.
You didn't want to make me too jealous,
yeah,
dude.
Well,
That's
and
why.
and then I felt like, man, because I haven't worn it since the mullet came off because it's just heartbreaking, and so I was just like, hey, man, I might have to come off of this and let Alex get it, and I was in like a war with myself on whether or not I should bring it because I knew I would come off of it, and I was like, just leave it here till next time.
Maybe one day.
Dude, it's $30. I looked it up, and I cannot even find that same jacket on eBay anywhere. And most of the mint condition Dale jackets like that on eBay are going
Hundreds
for
of
like
dollars.
$500-600.
Absolutely.
And like this one's mint. Like it's white at the pockets. There's no stains from like hands or nothing going in the pockets. Like this jacket has been taken care of.
That's so cool. You got that shit for $30 from some old lady, right?
Dude, that's what I try to do. Most of the time, like, I've spent some dollars. Like, I got this Pocahontas shirt, and it's artwork from when they first did Pocahontas, when they first drew Pocahontas, and that's what's on the shirt is a picture of Pocahontas.
Oh, wow.
And it's like an official picture.
OG.
Yeah, dude, it's gangster. And, like, I paid some money for that shirt. But most of the time, like, I get my shit at a bargain or try to shop at it at a bargain. But sometimes I will go out of my way. Like, so I have these 1993 Buffalo Bills pants. I think they're called Zats or something like that. Like, they're old school, and they got the Buffalo Bill on it. And they play the Steelers today at 8 o'clock. And we are going to win.
Dude, they're nasty this year.
Dude,
they're nasty.
Pretty good season. I think if we could get like some decent players in the draft and 2 more years, I think that we can hold our own because their defense is the only reason that we continue to win ball games, and it's just a blessing to have to be a Bills fan your whole entire life and then just have the worst curse and be terrible at football. I mean, if you think about it for real, so OJ, they lost the Super Bowl. The Bills are the reason that we have the Kardashians today.
Because of OJ.
Yeah, and it's exactly because of OJ, because we lost in the Super Bowl, and we got the first-round draft pick, and we drafted O.J. Simpson, who then moved to Buffalo and met his wife and killed his wife. I think, actually, Bradley might have posted something like this, and I was quite angry that he posted it about my Bills.
What did he post? He's a big Ravens fan.
And it was the story of like how the Bills lost the Super Bowl. They got the first round. They got OJ. And then OJ moved to Buffalo, met his wife, then murdered his wife, or so says.
And the guy.
Yeah, and whatever happened, and so be it. And then the Kardashians came along to represent him, and then that's why the Kardashians are as famous as they are today, is because of the Buffalo Bills. And it's like, that's a sad thing to carry. And so, like, I've had to carry all this regret and pain my whole life of being a Bills fan, and now they're doing decent, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Because my family, they're all from upstate New York. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so my dad's, they're from Wellsville, outside Rochester and stuff like that. And then my mom is just like a swamp Indian from Florida.
Oh.
So they met.
How'd they meet?
They went into the Army, and they both went to MP school, military police. And that's where they met.
Holy
in
shit.
Military police training.
Wow. That's insane that you came out of that.
Dude, little Indian, Italian, heathen. And see, I got most of the heathen from my mom's side of the family. It's for sure. It's proven that I got all of that from her side. My dad's side of the family, everyone's successful. They've all like done shit with their lives, and like they don't have no type of problems.
So he's Italian.
Yeah. So my grandmother's mother, so it would be my great-great grandparents. He came over with my great-grandmother, and his wife died, and then he went back to Italy, remarried. They had 6 children when they got here, and then he remarried and brought one back from Italy, and then they had 6 children again, so 12 total.
Holy shit, dude.
And
That's
so
insane.
that side of the family, they're called the Felzeranos. And like a couple years ago, I have a lot of family in Chicago too, and so my great uncle Solidio Felzerano passed away, and like my dad's my mom and my dad split up. My dad, the first prison that he worked at, the federal prison that he worked at, was the one in downtown Chicago, which is like an 11-story federal building. It's a prison downtown Chicago, and he stayed with the Felzeranos and stuff out there when we stayed with Solidio and stuff while we lived there, and then we went to Pennsylvania, then Virginia, and then I came here because I had problems.
When did you come to Wilmington? How old were you?
24?
24, yeah. And then you got linked up with the guy you were just telling me about to do the work with him. I forget what you said.
Okay, so I got linked up. I got down here and then did my thing for a little while. I spent a couple years down here, and then a buddy of mine, so this guy that I work for now, I started working for him when I was 21, and like he's a big part of my life. Like he's kind of like a dad to me. I call him Pops and shit like that. And like when I was 21, he knew that like all the shit that I was doing and stuff, and he tried to like be like, oh, you know, you need to stop that. You can have a future. La da da da. And I was just like, yeah, whatever, old man. And so once I got down here, he called me, and he was like, you know, I'd like for you to come work for me again. And I was like, yeah, I don't think right now is a good time, because I was doing, you know, the whole thing with recovery and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I need to just stay here and focus on what I'm focusing on. And then a buddy of mine took a job for a guy out in North Carolina, and his specialty is that he finds in like warehouses antique reclaimed lumber.
Yeah, you were telling me. That's pretty freaking cool.
So
dude.
he's got like he's got a big warehouse in Waynesville, and then he's got a place in Virginia not far from where I live now. And he was doing a job for Mr. Ricketts, who owns TB Ameritrade and owns the Chicago Cubs, which his kids run now.
Yeah.
And so I got a contract to do that job, and I was installing these logs there, like building cabins and doing hickory
For the
hammers.
Cubs.
Yeah, well, I mean, originally it was supposed to be a like a retreat for the players.
Right.
And then they were like, oh, well, let's make this a religious retreat, because then we can make this huge tax write-off, and they can still come here and hang out.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just a religious retreat now. So it's like, I think it's like Cloisters at the Plateau is what they ended up naming it. And it's like 7 lodges. There's a church, a cathedral. Like there's statues all over, and they have like Bluetooth headsets that you wear and walk around, and it tells you like all these stories. And each one of the bronze statues was like $1 million a piece. It was $1 billion job.
Oh my god.
And
that's
dude,
1,000 millions.
a lot.
That's 1,000 millions, bro.
That's a lots of millions.
Billions.
$1 billion job.
Billion.
And the dude that I was doing the cabin work for, like the log and stuff, he was like made all these promises, so we were supposed to get all these bonuses and la da da da, and we get a completion bonus once we finish the lodge. And I was out there for 11 months, and we did 3 lodges, and I never received anything but my pay. And it was always jacked up, dude. The dude was like, oh, I'll pay you Friday. Like, we always got paid, but like he'd be like, it'll be there Friday. Well, this dude made 10% of that $1 billion.
$10 million.
100.
No, $100 million.
$100
Holy
million.
shit.
And he was worried about
$100 million.
giving us our $7,000 bonuses. So we
Wow.
all like raised hell. So while I was out there, the guy that I work for now, his name's Jim, he called me, and he was like, you know, I want to adopt you. Like, you can come here and live with me. I want to teach you how to run part of the company. And I was like, dude, I'm clearing $1,800 a week right now. I was like, it doesn't make sense for me to like just up and leave unless you can guarantee me that. And he's like, well, I can't guarantee you that. He's like, just let me know if you need work when, you know, whenever. And so I quit that job. Some things had happened. I came back home, and then I called Jim, and I was like, look, dude, I want to go back and traveling again. And he was like, okay, you know, like, we'll set it up. So I went and did 1 or 2 stores for him, just helping. And then I took off to California, and we did 2 stores out there in Bakersfield and Tehachapi, and I wasn't the lead on the job. There was another guy, and that guy is like, he's super intelligent guy, but like he doesn't have much field work. You know what I mean? And so some stuff happened with him, and he had to go to jail, which is real weird because he's not a dude that needs to be in jail. He was an EMT pilot. So when my boss lives in Grove, Oklahoma, and that's right outside.
The guy that adopted you,
yeah,
or wanted to adopt you.
Yeah. And so that's right outside Joplin, Missouri. And this dude was like the #1 EMT pilot, like in the surrounding
pilot, like
areas.
a guy who drives a helicopter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it got to the point to where he was just like the one that orchestrated wherever and what. But yeah, so this dude was like, he stayed in the helicopter for like 24 hours during Joplin, the tornado and stuff
Holy
like that.
shit! What do you have to go to jail for?
I think it was because his wife got like the car in a divorce, and like he didn't give her money, and then didn't go to court about it because he was mad, and so they like put a capias on him.
Okay.
So when that happened, we were supposed to do another store in Kansas City. And my boss was like, "Look, dude, this is it. This is your shot." And he's like, "I'm gonna let you do the thing, and you're gonna take care of everything and do all the paperwork and everything." And I was like, "Okay." And then since then, like, I've ran my own crew. I superintend Walmarts. I've done some dollar stores. I did Dollar General.
So you guys renovate?
Yes, yeah, dude. Mostly commercial remodels. So
commercial remodel. Okay.
So like KFCs and shit,
Right.
and like Walmart's, like we'll do the fitting room or the new electronic system or the pickup towers.
Big
and
money
stuff
in
like
that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to pay it, I mean, there's real good money in it. Yeah, it's just like people. So the way they do it is like you contract through a contract through a contract, and you're the contractor. You know what I
Really?
mean? So like this company, Walmart will guarantee this company like 1,000 contracts. And then all that company's job is to find another company that knows contractors to do the contracts. So they'll give say they give 100 of them of the 500 to this company. Then that company's job is to find
100 contractors.
to find the contractors to do it. And then they expect you're the bottom man on the totem pole. When I was in Salt Lake City, they were like, "Oh, we need you to put a ceiling in," which I've never done, like a drop ceiling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not something I've ever done. And I was like, okay, and I was like, I'll do it. It cost me $14,000 for just the materials to do the ceiling.
Oh
and
my
I had to
God.
pay out of my company, out of our money. And then the way these people pay back is like, so I did $12,000 just on the ceiling alone. So they will pay like, after 60 or 90 days, they'll give you like 50%. And then
Of
like,
what they owe or what you spent?
they owe.
Okay.
And like what they owe you out of the $12,000. And then they'll do like 30-20 or like 30-10, and then you'll get the other 10% at the end of the year. So then they don't account for the interest that you have when you're running like your company credit card and stuff and all that stuff. So it's just some companies you can find that are like really good and really understanding, and most companies, I've never not worked for a company. I worked for this company, Southwestern Services. They're a shit show. So if you ever have to run into Southwestern Services, don't do a fucking thing for them because they're pieces of shit.
Hell yeah, I love it when you talk like that,
But
Tanner.
I'm just saying, dude, that's like shitty people, man, just straight lie about things. So
Put them on blast.
I
That's what
will,
you got to
dude.
do to shitty people.
If
You got to put them on fucking blast,
I mean,
dude.
I've been known to do it.
You
And
got to.
sometimes
Oh, I've
I
seen you
feel
put
bad.
some people on blast before.
Sometimes I feel bad about it, but I'm like, dude, fuck, man. Like, you want to sit here and play like you're little Miss Susie and don't do nothing wrong, and you're a fuckhead.
Yeah.
And it's not my place to put them on blast, but like maybe it is
Somebody
sometimes.
needs to.
Someone's got to. 'cause
Jesus
if
ain't
not-
going to do it.
No, hell no.
So somebody's got to
Someone's
do it.
got to.
Okay.
I mean, they get to heaven, they're just like, I'm sorry. And then you're going to be like, oh, okay.
All
Well,
right,
I ain't going to say nothing. Come on in.
Yeah.
And I'm
I'm
like,
not
no,
gonna put it
dude.
on blast.
I will fucking put you on blast.
I
That's why
like it.
That's why
I
that's why I had to delete social media because I was.
Oh, you
straight-
did delete it.
I did. I deleted. So
How
I
do you feel now when you got that deleted? Do you feel better?
dude? It's awesome. Like, so I think I'm like
I'm thinking about doing mine.
I'm coming up
Fuck
on a
it.
week, dude. And like, don't get me wrong, I have Snapchat because I holler at this shorty and she's fine as hell. I like to hit her on Snapchat. But like that's the extent of it, man. Like I had to re-download Messenger the other day because I ain't got none of my peeps around the house on. I don't keep no one's phone number or
Yeah.
nothing. I don't save shit normally. So I downloaded it to get some of my buddy's phone number. But other than that, like getting on there, it's awesome to like, cause it's just like a muscle memory.
It really is.
Like you literally will go on your phone and like open up an app and you're like,
how did I get here?
and then you'll spend 3 hours just fucking just for nothing. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, let me look at this girl's butt on this page all day.
Yeah.
And it's like
Butt
what?
snorkeler.
Yeah, dude,
Let me
just
follow
butt
butt
snorkeler.
snorkeler on Instagram.
Dude, but
That
there-
page is lit.
the only thing that I do miss is that there's this one girl and her name's Nadia, Nasty Nadlia, and she twerks. Have you ever seen her? Oh my god, dude! It is the most retarded.
I've seen
thing.
Lexi Pantera twerk though.
No,
Have you
dude,
seen her?
No,
Top notch.
dude, I'm telling you, this
Top
girl
notch.
is like, I wouldn't even make it in. I He's sitting there shaking. It's dumb, dude. But that's the only thing I miss about
It is
social
muscle
media.
memory though, because like you'll get in Instagram and don't remember how you got there.
Yeah, and then
Then
spend
you'll be
2
in.
hours.
Yeah, I'll be in it like 30 minutes before I realize like what am I doing?
Why?
I could have done 10 things by now. I could have cleaned the house, done the dishes, blah blah blah.
So yeah, dude, it's helped me a bunch, and plus because I will straight fucking put people on blast, and it's like, dude, it's not healthy.
Now you can just do it to their face.
Yeah, dude. Well, I
Fuck
would
it.
rather to.
Yeah, I know
what
you
I mean?
would.
But like,
There's some people who won't. The thing that bothers me is there's some people who won't put you on blast to your face, but they'll do it on social
oh,
media.
dude, those
That bothers me. That's worse than the person you're putting on blast.
dude. So,
Like if I know for a fact you won't say anything to their face, but you'll say something over social media, that bothers me more than whatever that person did.
dude, that's what wrecks me is like these people, and it's not like I can't say that I have never done it because I'd be a hypocrite if like I didn't say like. I put this person on blast, and then when I seen him, I might not have said something to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like 90% of the time, I'm gonna straight tell you to your face that you're a fuckhead.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
Yeah.
You can beat. My ass has been beat by several dudes at many a times.
Same.
Like, it ain't gonna hurt me none to like take an ass whipping by no means. But I would much rather just say it to your face. It's like I went to the bar the other night with my buddy, and like I was leaving. They knew I was coming out of town, and I just got home from being out of town, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll come hang out for a second. And there just so happened to be like this chick that I had said something on social media to, and like she's dating one of my boys, and like, but dude, this bitch, I cannot fucking stand her, man. Like it just drives me up the wall. And I straight told I call him my brother. He's not my brother. My dad adopted him kind of when we were in high school. He lived with us our senior year and shit. But like he's not really my brother, but he's my brother.
Right.
And so, like, he was like, you know, come out here, you know, we're out here. And I was like, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm not sitting at that fucking table. I was like, because I'm not no fake-ass bitch like she is. I was like, because if I go sit at that table, I'm going to snap. And I'm going to straight tell her what the fuck is up. And I was like, and then it's going to be a big ordeal.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I would rather just avoid the confrontation because I know it's going to happen.
Right.
And I was like, so I'm not sitting with them. So they all got fucking butthurt because everyone that was sitting at their table came to the bar and sat with me. And, like, so they were all pissed off. But, like, I can't, dude. Like, with social media, like, I say shit that I probably shouldn't say, that, you know, some stuff should just be left unsaid. But, like, I get fucking angry about some shit, man.
Yeah.
But in my situation, like, my last situation that I've been getting mad and shit about, like, it's fully justifiable.
Oh, for sure.
Because, like, you can't be a shit human being to someone. Like, I ain't saying that I ain't one, because I damn sure am, and I can be one.
See, but you'll own it.
Yeah, dude.
That's the difference.
But, like, you're going to be a shit human being and then be like, oh, like, you're going to say some stuff to my pops or something and be like, well, I hate that you feel some other type of way than what you felt about me because of what happened. Like, what? Why would you even say something like that if you knew that you were being a shit person? Just don't be a shit person.
But they're in denial.
I know.
Like, they won't admit that they've done anything wrong.
And
That's
they want to
the problem.
justify it. They want
See,
to
that bothers me just as much as the people who won't say something to the person's face. It's like, if you can't own, like, being a shithead sometimes, I can't fuck with you.
Yeah, dude. I'll be the first person to tell you I'm probably one of the biggest fucking assholes that you will sit down and talk to in your life. But I'm genuine, and I mean everything that I say normally. Like,
yeah.
and like, I'm not just an asshole. Like, I genuinely care about the human race and people.
I think you're
you know
a nice
what I mean?
guy.
I mean, I try to be to an extent, but like, I don't care if you think that I'm a nice guy,
Right.
but like, I appreciate that you
Yeah,
do. You know what
yeah.
I mean? It's just, people piss me off, man, and I can't handle people no more. I'm getting too old. I'll just start shooting people.
Tell me about that deer you shot in the head.
Oh my God, dude.
Tell me that story again for the podcast.
I call him my brother-in-law, right? And he's not, obviously, because we're not together. But me and him, like, we all the time was messing around on the farm. So my ex, her grandfather has a farm, and like, so we set up deer cams, and we don't bait where we hunt, but we bait deer because we want to know what's coming in on the land and shit like that. And I just bought this 223. It's a single shot rifle from her great uncle. And I was like, we went and shot it up in the field and got it sighted in and stuff. We went and sighted in all our guns. And we was coming home out of the field, and Sean was like, hey, there's a deer up there. And I was like, all right, let's go. So he had a single shot 30-30 that he also just bought. And you
boys were itching to shoot them guns.
Oh, dude.
Y'all were itching to shoot them guns.
See, her granddad, like, he knows everyone where we live. So he got 12 tags, and we could take a doe. They're called nuisance tags.
Yeah.
So
because they're eating his crops, supposedly, or whatever.
So we could take 12 deer, spotlight at night, whatever.
No shit. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could spotlight them at night.
In the state of Virginia. Only if it's
awesome.
a doe and stuff. Antlerless
That's awesome.
deer. So we were like, all right, we're going to shoot this deer. So we go up on this hill, and they were in this goat fence from the neighbors. And I go up one side, and I shot and missed. She was in this thicket. And then he went up the other side and shot and missed. And, of course, we had single-shot rifles. So he was like, all right, let's go regroup. And we'll come around and circle around the top where my ex's mom lives.
How far were y'all when you shot?
I would say probably about 275, 300.
That's pretty far.
It's a good shot.
It's pretty far.
Needless to say, I was not aiming at her dome piece. So and we were sitting there, and we came up on the top. So where we originally shot was the bottom, like right here, and there's a hillside, and there's a top, and there's a field, and it keeps going up. So we get up there, and I back the truck up, and I call them my nephews, which is Sean's kids, and they were with us, and they were screaming and hollering. They get so excited. They're just little hillbilly kids. It's fucking great. And
this is in West Virginia.
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And we take offense to be calling West Virginia.
I thought you were from West Virginia.
No. I live in the westernmost part of Virginia.
Oh, okay.
The southwestern.
I
so
got
like
you.
where Virginia comes down to like a little sliver, and then you got like Kentucky and Tennessee.
That's why you're so close to Asheville.
Yeah. So Asheville's like 2 hours from me.
Because Asheville's the western tip of North Carolina.
Yeah.
And you're the bottom western tip of Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay.
So like literally where I live in Virginia, I'm closer to like 6 other state capitals than my own.
Oh, okay.
So
because Richmond's like toward the eastern side,
yeah,
right?
it's on the East Coast.
Yeah, so you're like 6 hours from Richmond.
8.
8?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I get like Atlanta, I'm like 4 hours from Atlanta. Cincinnati, like I'm like 4 hours from Cincinnati and stuff like that. But I don't know all the state capitals, but like those are some major cities.
Please convince me that Eastern Virginia doesn't suck dick.
What, where I live?
No,
or
Eastern Virginia.
Oh, Eastern Virginia is a shithole.
I
It's
hate
bullshit.
Eastern Virginia.
What's
bro.
bullshit is how that controls the rest. Because like if you look at a map, and I don't give a shit if you're Republican. I don't give a shit if you're Democrat. I don't fucking vote because I think it's all bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
That's just how I am. I don't
Yeah.
care. It's like nobody can go in terms for 4 to 8 years and think they're going to change shit because
Yeah.
all they're doing is changing what the other person did.
Right.
It's just bullshit to me. So I don't give a fuck. Like I don't have any standing on whatever. But anyways, I do think it is bullshit that because the population is so heavy on the eastern part of Virginia that like if you look at a map and like literally there's just a sliver on the eastern part of Virginia that's Democratic and then the whole rest of the state is Republican and they can like the Democrats control everything. So
Wow.
like now in Virginia we have a Democratic governor and he's trying to like you can't hunt as a child. You're not even allowed to have a rifle until you're the age of 18. So you're not allowed to deer hunt until you're 18 years old.
Oh my God.
So
that's
now,
crazy.
apparently there's this thing, and it's called the Second Amendment sanctuary states. And so what they can do is that the county has to vote on whether or not they want you to be like a Second Amendment sanctuary. So if the county and everyone votes on it, then whatever dumbass says over in Richmond,
you don't have to abide
abide by it. Because he's
okay.
trying to say, we're going to come in, take all your guns,
Jesus
we're gonna come
Christ.
take.
Talking about Virginia, buddy.
You can't have kids are they're gonna eliminate youth hunting days and stuff like that.
Dude, that type of stuff keeps kids out of trouble.
Gun safety. They're like, oh, what? There's no sense in them knowing how to do. Like, you know, when I was a kid, you had to go through gun safety and shit to get your hunting license. Once you were 15, you had to do all that. And now they're saying, well, why teach it? Because they don't even need to have a gun till they're 18. Like, that's just stupid.
So stupid.
Dude, I learned how to fucking take apart a gun and clean it before I learned how to tie my shoes, just because my dad worked for the government and shit my whole life. So that was just something that that was instilled in me as a child, was gun safety and stuff. And like, if you're just gonna eliminate that, then you're gonna give these morons, they're gonna turn 18 now and not have nothing, no idea what a gun even does, and then it's gonna be a mess. I think it's stupid.
For sure.
It's dumb. But anyways, this fucking deer was like, there's a fence row, and then there's this big wide field, and then there's this fence row. And it was none of the deer that me and him were originally shooting at. And like, I have a 260 Ruger, and it's just like in between a 243 and 270. It's an awesome gun. It shoots super flat. And so it was walking up into this field, and it was fixing to go into these woods. And he was like, shoot it. And I was like, hold on a second. And like, I originally aimed like right here on its neck, because I didn't know which way it was going to go, because I hadn't sighted it in a little bit. And just so happened, it caught the deer in the corner of the eye. It didn't penetrate the skull, and it just grazed its skull and come out the back of its head. So it never penetrated or nothing. So this deer just like got knocked down by this gun. And it was super inhumane. And I should have never took the shot because it was so far and stuff like that. But
so you're still at like 270? Or you're,
yeah. It was every bit about 275, 300 yards.
That's a long shot.
It's a long shot, man. And we got the rangefinder out and put it on it. Because I couldn't dial in exactly where she was when I shot, but it was anywhere from 275 to 300 when I took it.
It's a long shot.
But I shouldn't have took it, and like any humane hunter knows that like there's no reason that I should have took that shot. But I did, and so we get up there, and I was like, dude, she's not dying, you know what I mean? Like, she's wounded, she was sitting there, like, all dazed and stuff. I was like, shoot her again, and he was like, man, these 30-30 shells are expensive. You know, we're hillbillies. I was like, so shoot her. This dumb ass, I love him to death, I'm not talking mean about him. He shot her and hit her right here in the jaw, and it come out the back side of her jaw. So
alive.
At this point, she just sitting there gargling.
Oh,
and you could see her tongue and shit. It was gruesome.
Oh, no.
And I'm like panicking, and I'm like, dude, shoot this deer and end it. So he did, and we got her and drug her down and skin her out. Like we do all the fixings. Most of the time we skin it. And we'll get the back straps and stuff out, and then we'll take the quarters and stuff like that to the butcher and let them do it like that. It's cheaper that way, and we know what we're doing when we're doing it. So I got a heart out of one, and my ex's dad was a real hillbilly kind of dude, and they used to eat the heart all the time, and I'd never had one. And so I found out where this buck was hanging out, the one that I ended up getting, the 9-pointer.
Yeah, that was a nice deer.
Good looking deer, dude.
Nice.
It's one of the smallest ones I had on my camera. It's sad.
Really?
But, yeah, dude.
So y'all got some big ones up there.
Monsters. And what makes me mad is
I might have to come hunt with you.
Dude, I
might have to.
Come on. Like, I think we got, right now we're in maybe late muzzleloader. It might be the end of rifle. And then we got archery, too. Late archery. And then you got spring goblet.
I don't know how to shoot a bow.
Yeah, but I got a crossbow.
I can shoot a crossbow for sure.
It's like shooting a gun. It's no different.
If you kind of work with me for
dude,
a couple hours, I can figure it out.
That's the only thing about bow hunting, man. When I like to bow hunt, and it's just like, dude, it's so much work because bow hunting's mostly muscle memory.
Right.
Like, and the way you hold it and everything like that, it's all muscle memory. That way you can continuously keep, like, it's not like a rifle, like, you know, they stay. And you know what I mean? Like this, you're the one that moves it, so it's all muscle memory. Like, my bow's got what they call a kisser on it, and you put it in the corner of your mouth, and that way I know every time that I look down my peep sight that I'm looking down at the same time because that kisser's on there.
Right.
But yeah, I missed that 9-pointer with my bow, and then ended up getting them with a muzzleloader. But yeah, so her dad used to make deer heart, man, and
how does he make it?
So she fried it, and that's how he did it. But you have to cut like all the tubes and stuff. Like you don't get much meat. Like the steaks are probably like that big.
Yeah.
You probably get 4 of them off the heart once you get everything
Like
out
a
of
duck
it.
breast.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
4
it's just
duck
like,
breasts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And it's like a little irony, but it's like super tender. So it's just like a little bit irony than like a sirloin, but like the same consistency of a sirloin. Dude, it's so good. And, you know, she made that for me while she was seeing another man, so whatever.
Dude, we shot some bufflehead yesterday out there. We were hunting. And they're like diver ducks, so they're supposedly the meat's not as good. It's like kind of oystery. So I just put some of that in a bag with some milk to kind of draw the
game out of it.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is my neighbor shot a 3-point, 4-point. It was technically, I guess, a 4-point. Had a little tiny point, but he shot one of them and called me. He's like, "Can you help me hang this deer up? I'll give you the tenderloins off of it." And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll help you hang it up." So I walked over there and helped him pull it up on the little hanger, and he handed me these tenderloins. They're probably like that. It's like from the growing area,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know much about it.
We call that the bread basket. So they have 2 that are like right underneath the guts, and it comes from like their groin, and it goes like probably what you like a diaphragm would be on a human.
He said if you cut the bladder, it ruins it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he said you got to pull the guts out to get to it. He said most people don't do it because it's just too much work, I guess, to get 2 little pieces of meat. But it was the best.
So good.
The best deer meat I've ever had, and I smoked it for an hour, and then I reverse seared it in my cast iron skillet. It tastes like filet mignon.
It's so good.
It was so good.
So like I remember I sent you that picture, and we did a ham off of that dough.
So a ham is what is the
back leg
right here?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the ass and
Okay.
then to the knee.
Yeah.
And then I took the 2 back straps. So we call it the bread basket, or they call it like the bread and butter, which are the ones right here.
Yeah.
But there's the back straps is what they call them, and it's a tenderloin, and it runs down each side of its spine.
Yeah.
And it goes from like its ass all the way up to like its shoulder blade.
Yeah.
And we took those, and we took the ham and wrapped it in bacon, and then wrapped the tenderloin in bacon, and then smoked them. And I think I smoked maybe an hour and didn't sear it or nothing, and it was like medium rare, and it was all of it got people destroyed it, man. It was good. It's super good. I love tenderloin. Deer meat's my favorite by far. It's so good.
I've never had any that was like as good as what we had the other day. It made me just like love it. I was just like, damn, because I've fucked some deer meat up. Like I've cooked it way too much and had it dried out. Like I cooked some in a crock pot on low for way too long. Like I cooked it for like 6 hours.
It will make
You
it
can really
chewy.
cook it for like 3 hours and you're good. In a crock pot on low.
Most people around the house, they won't eat it medium rare. They want it like cooked, like well done.
I like it medium rare.
Dude, there's no.
I like
point.
it like a steak.
Yeah, and a lot of people like around that area and stuff, they're so old school and caught up in their ways. They're like, no, we're gonna cook it well. That's how you cook deer meat. You have to cook it well, and you don't. You can cook it medium rare, dude, and it's beautiful.
So much better.
And that's like I took all off that ham that we smoked and stuff like that, and some of them tenderloins that we had left over, I took and made this huge stew out of it. And dude, I bet you 20 people ate off this stew that I had,
That's
and it was like
awesome.
all the smoked deer meat and stuff like that. Dude,
Isn't that cool to shoot something and feed people?
Dude, it's so great.
Isn't that cool?
Well, what's really cool, let me tell you the best part is that 9-pointer that I got, it got given away to everyone in my ex's family, and I got no meat out of it.
Oh no!
And I had them at the butcher. I was like, "Hey man, can you keep it out?" Because this is the biggest deer I've killed. It's not a big deer by no means, but it's the biggest one I had killed. And because
the video was great. Can I just say that?
It was solid. That was on the whim. I just.
What were
laid
you
him
saying?
down.
Because it was hilarious. It was so funny.
I think I was saying something about how he came in, and then I was talking about I thought he was a 6-pointer with a broken side because he had rolled so far and he was up underneath that log. When I made the video, I had not even looked at the deer, and I was just so stoked that I'd finally got him. And I was saying, I'd like to thank Real Tree Camo, and I'd like to thank God for this glorious mullet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and you're talking about your mullet and shit.
Oh yeah, and so I killed him. I gutted him out, man. He was a beautiful deer. he didn't suffer at all, man. He went straight down. I got him right in the heart, so I didn't get none of that meat. But then I called my ex's grandfather, and I was like, and he's older, you know, he's like in his 70s and shit, but he's like kicking for an older guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey man, you know, like I'm on top, like can you come help me and get this deer? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, you know, and my brother-in-law is what I call him, and Sean, and I was like, hey man, where you at? And he's like, man, I'm watching someone down here in this bottom. And I was like, what are they doing? He's like, I don't know. They just took their hat off. And he's like, I'm watching them through the scope on my gun. And he wasn't going to shoot or nothing. And he was like, I don't know who it is or what they're doing. It looks like they might have got a deer. I was like, where are you? Because he had hunted at a different spot than me.
Yeah.
Dude, this dumbass was sitting there
watching you.
Watching me with his scope, cutting up this deer. So I call our papa and tell him to come get me. And I shot it on a bluff like this. So I was sitting on top of it, and he was walking up the right side because it comes up and goes into this ridge. And so I had to drag this deer all the way up this bluff by myself. Took my rope out of the bag that morning because I packed light because I knew I was going to go walking. And, dude, it was so hardcore to drag that deer out of there. And her papa just shows up, and by the time he showed up, my deer was just laying there waiting for him. But yeah, so he gave all my deer away. He left my mount and stuff. So I had the front legs kept because on a deer they have tendons in them, just like a human. And so you can cut the joint right here, and you can dip that in salt, and it would keep it from rotting. And it would keep everything.
Like a turkey, like a turkey beard.
Yep. And so you bend their hooves like that, and you take a string and just tie it, and you can leave it for like a week and a half. And then when you untie it, it'll forever stay like that. And you could literally use it as a weapon to kill someone because that's how sharp the hooves are. And it'll just stay like that. But I did that so that when I had that deer mounted, I could mount those arms to it, and I could make a gun rack or a bow rack or whatever.
Oh, that'd be cool, dude.
So he went and picked up my deer meat because it was my tags and stuff, but I put it in his name because I took one of his deer down there too. Gave all my meat away. Left my deer down there. Didn't even say nothing to me about it or anything because of the whole situation. And so luckily my dad had checked in a deer for one of his friends down there because my dad doesn't live there anymore. He lives in Kingsport, which is like an hour away. He don't even like going down there. He hates everyone in that county. Like he hates everyone. And so luckily they had saved my deer head, and I just took it to a guy in Bristol.
Oh, nice. And
I'm not going to get it full mounted. Because Dad's like, if you're going to find a woman, and they don't want dead animals hanging on their walls. And I was like, all right, Dad, whatever. So I had it European mounted. So what they do is they'll take and boil the head of it and like an oyster boil, like a cooker or something outside, and they boil it, and then they'll take a knife and scrape all the meat and stuff off of it, and then they'll boil it again, and then they'll take a bunch of peroxide, and they'll take I've done them before, so that's why I know what he's going to do to it. And like a foot tub that you like get for old people, you know what I'm saying? And you fill that whole thing up with peroxide, and you stick the skull down in there and like tape off the bottom of the antlers with like bags or something, so if it falls or whatever. And you leave it for like 2 days, and it'll bleach it pretty much. And then you can pull it out, and then you just like take an epoxy clear coat or a spray paint or something, and then they call them European mounts. So it's just like the full face, the jaw, and everything like that.
With the antlers.
With the antlers, yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. I
bet
bet it would eat it completely away if you left it there long enough.
Oh, guarantee it.
It would just eat the bone.
Probably.
Damn, that's crazy, dude.
But yeah, so good deer hunting year. Other than that, the rest of the year has been a shit show.
Yeah.
I did get to see most of the country. You know.
Have you ever duck hunted?
I never have duck hunted.
Super fun, dude. Like it's probably way different than deer hunting. I've never really deer hunted, but like we went out yesterday and it was rough, dude. Like I knew it was gonna be shitty out, like the weather. So I mean that makes them fly more. So the shittier the weather, the more the ducks fly, right? So we go out. It's me and Cooper and Wesley, and we go out. And it ain't cold. It's like 60 degrees. So if it was cold, it would have been super fucking miserable. But there would have probably been twice as many ducks flying. Anyway, so we go out at Snow's Cup, and we go all the way down the river, like towards Southport. So it takes us – we're not going fast because I can't see, like, from here to that wall. It's pitch black out there. And then they have markers everywhere that aren't blinking. It's really sketchy out there. And so I'm, like, trying to spotlight, trying to figure it out. Though you know, did you see the wood pieces laying across
Mhm.
my boat? That's to keep the blind from bouncing. Like while you're driving, you take them down when you get to the spot or whatever. One of the pieces of wood slid down, and so I stopped the boat to let them fix the wood. And I looked down at my phone for like probably, I'm looking at a map, right? I looked down at my phone for like 3 seconds and put it down. And then I looked at something else, and I looked back up, and I'm like, all right, we're good. The whole boat had spun around. So we start going, and we're going the wrong way. The
Going
way we
back.
came. Yeah, we're going the way we came. So it took us an hour to go probably 7 miles. And we finally get to the spot, dude, and it's like, it's dark as fuck at shooting time. So shooting time for ducks is, I don't know how it is for deer, but it's 30 minutes before sunrise when you can shoot. Is that how it is for deer?
I think so. So normally deer hunting, I think it's like an hour before dark or like an hour after sunrise or something like that.
Yeah.
It's something like that.
Yeah, so ours is 30 minutes before sunrise, right? So it's 30 minutes before sunrise, and we're in a spot where I know that there's birds out there. I've seen them flying right down this creek that we're sitting in. I know we're on the fucking X, right? Because duck hunting, you're looking for the X. So it's shooting time, and usually by shooting time, birds are flying, like teal or something. We don't see shit, dude, and it's dark as fuck because it's overcast so bad. So it's dark, dude, and it's like 25 minutes past shooting time, and I'm like, this ain't good, dude. Ain't nothing fucking flying. And we just really trekked to get out here and put a big decoy spread out and everything. And so these birds fly right up into the decoys after like 25 minutes. They're in the decoys. I'm like leaned down, like the blinds right here, and Cooper's like, when somebody in there goes shh like that, you know they're close, because like, why are you telling me to be quiet? So he says shh, and I look up above the blind. There's a fucking bird sitting from here to like where my truck's at. And I'm like, damn. And he's like, 1, 2, 3. We all unload. We hit this sumbitch. He's wobbling and shit. And he makes it like to the outside of the decoys, and he falls. And so he's like, y'all want to go pick it up? I'm like, yeah. So we shove a pole into the ground and tie a rope to it to keep the boat from moving. We're untying the rope. And I'm like, yo, more. So more are coming into the decoys where we just shot. And so I'm like, yo, 2 more, 3 more, or whatever. So we pop up and we shoot those, and one of them goes down. I'm like, hell yeah, that was fucking sick. We're like fucking stoked. So we're going to get these ducks. We got one belly up, and I got my eyes on him. I'm like, where's the other one at? We grabbed that one, and we're looking for the other one, these 2 big ducks. So big ducks are really what you want, like when you're hunting, like puddle ducks, like black ducks, mallards, shit like that, like real big ducks. These big ducks fly right over top of the decoys, and we're like out in the middle. I'm like, damn, those were coming in, dude. Like they were coming in. So we get back up in there, and we had more decoy up. But like duck hunting, I feel like when they decoy up, it's probably like for you when you put your sight on that deer, and your heart's like do 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 do, and you're trying to stay calm, and you're just like, holy shit, is this really happening? It's the same type of thing. So it's like, I just love that shit, dude.
I wish I would have brought some camo so I could just at least just rode out. And
I love it.
seen
I got a blind. I got camo. You
Just-
can ride out. You can come with us tomorrow. We're leaving at 4.
So, but I don't want to.
We're leaving at 4:30.
I think it would be a blast to go with Bender just because I absolutely
Just
love
go
that
with us.
human
It's
being.
just me and him.
Dude, I could have had my muck boots and everything, bro.
I got everything you need. I got an extra pair of waders. I got camo. I got everything you need.
I might go 4 in the morning.
4:30. We'll leave at 4:30.
So I'm waiting. This guy said that he might have some work. Let me
Just
see.
let me know.
I will,
All you
I will.
gotta do is just let me know last minute. I don't give a fuck if you text me at 3:30 in the morning. I don't care. You just let me know at last minute if you want to go with us. You
Okay.
can go. But yeah, it's fun. We're going to the same spot pretty much where I'm telling you about.
Okay.
So it's a pretty good boat ride. But like if I pull it up, see, it was misting the whole time out there, so my finger wouldn't work on my phone. So my phone kept, you know how your screen will cut off?
Mhm.
My phone kept cutting off, and I couldn't unlock the screen to see which direction I was pointing.
What are you rocking? iPhone still?
Yes, an X.
Fuck that shit.
Dude, it was pissing me off. I was about to throw that sumbitch
You gotta
in the
get-
river
You gotta get on
yesterday.
that fucking S10 game.
What is that? A Galaxy S10
yeah,
right here?
Yeah.
Why does that camera look like that on the back? It's
Dude,
like elongated.
It's got like so before
The cameras are sick on those
before
motherfuckers.
iPhones came out with all
Yeah,
their
that thing's
cameras on
sick.
the new one. Like this is so it's got like the super slow.
That's a sleek looking phone,
Dude,
dude.
it's gnarly.
You had a piece of junk last time you came
yeah,
to
dude.
my
I
house.
think I had the
Your
had
shit was all busted up and shit.
the S8 Active, I think is what I
Some
have.
shit that was all busted up. And
Yeah.
I was talking to you on it one time. You're like, oh, my phone's fucked up, dude. I don't know. I'm like, dude, I can barely hear you, dog. Where you at?
My last phone, me and old dumbass that I dated were floating the river, and I was like, I had my cooler sitting there, and like it happened before. Like we went floating, it went over in the water, was in the rapids, and luckily I had like it's a smoke shop called the Coffin Cardinal in St. Louis that my buddy worked at, and so when I'd go out of town, I'd go see him all the time. And so I had that sticker on my case, and that's how he found the phone in the rapids in the river.
Holy shit.
So again, my dumb ass, we're sitting there, and me and the ex were like, paddling along. Well, she don't paddle because I take the canoe. She sits up front. I do all the paddling and shit, so she don't have to. And we were sitting there talking, and I wasn't paying attention. We were just having a conversation, and I had my phone on my cooler, which just sticks like probably a half inch above the canoe.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there talking, and I was like, ah, la, la, la. And then the music went away, and I was like, where's my phone? it was gone, and I was like,
Damn.
man, dude. So, luckily,
You got some balls to carry the phone out there like that, though. I
yeah.
mean, that's a sketchy place to have your phone.
I shouldn't have, but luckily I have an awesome boss, and he was like, dude, you're a boss, like you're a superintendent.
Gotta
and
have
stuff.
a phone.
You have to have your phone. Go buy one right now. And I was like, okay. So, company credit card, courtesy of Martin Construction.
I was always sketched. That thing's sick. I was always sketched out to have a phone like on a kayak or some shit.
They don't bother, I've had the S6 Active, and then I went from the S6 Active to the S8 Active, and then I went from they don't make the Actives anymore, so like this is pretty much the same thing, dude. Like I've never waterproof. I've dropped them in water 100 times. The old phone I had, I dropped off of like scaffolding 2 scaffolds high. I dropped a tape measure. It was on the ground and dropped a tape measure on top of it. And dude, I've never had a problem with them. Never had I've had iPhones. I had the 6 and shit like that. I don't know, an Android kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's just.
How long you in town for?
Well, I'm currently, so I was gonna look at a few places. My buddy is trying to move with me as well. And he's got a lady, which is it's the most crazy thing. His lady was my ex's best friend, and we set them up. And
okay.
And now they have a kid together.
Oh shit.
So
little kid, little baby.
Little baby, yeah. She's like 2 months.
Oh wow, real little baby.
Yeah, she's little. And so I came down, and I'm gonna look for a place. Like, dude, I'm not trying to. I talked to a guy about a place, and he's like $1,100 for 2 bedrooms.
It ain't like no Western Virginia down
I know,
here,
and that's fine. And that's fine. Like, I don't care to pay. You know what I mean? Like, even like I'll live in Leland. I don't give a shit.
You
Like,
kind of belong in Leland.
I
dude.
know.
Like, let's be honest.
Or Topsail? I go Topsail.
Or Castle Hayne.
I'll go
That's 5 minutes from me.
What is that? That's where
That's
Coop
like
lives,
just right up.
Castle Hayne.
Coop lives in
Topsail.
Hampstead.
Oh, Hampstead.
On the way to Topsail.
Dude, I'll never forget that time I went out there to that restaurant. I was out there working, putting a deck on a place out there in Topsail. And I walked in this restaurant, and they said something, and I said like something like Topsail, and they were like, what'd you call this place? I was like, Topsail?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's Topsail. And I was like, what?
I had somebody type the words top and sail on my location of one of my tickets the other day. It said Topsail, North Carolina.
Dude, it's nuts.
And then I had somebody write topsoil. Swear to God, it was 2 words that said topsoil, North Carolina.
They don't know what
because
the fuck-
somebody said topsoil.
Topsail.
Somebody said topsoil,
Yeah.
and the person took it as
They don't know what the fuck
topsoil.
they're saying around here, man.
Bro, holy shit.
It's like that
Cur,
everywhere.
car, what is it?
Yeah.
Car, cur.
I would say cur.
I would say cur.
I would say
Why
cur.
would I say car? Because
Yeah.
a car drug? Fuck
Dude,
car
these
drug, bro.
These motherfuckers are, and it's like anywhere, dude. Anywhere you go, like they're always like. Cause so I was in Louisiana, and I was in New Iberia, which is outside of Lafayette. And I was messing with them girls, and dude, they were straight motherfucking Cajuns in there, and like that's when the mullet was like pretty good swing, you know what I mean? And they were asking me about it, and they said, "Is your head long?" And I was like, "What? My Louisiana Gators nest?" And they said, "What do you mean?" And I showed them, and they seen it as a mullet. And like I had to go get some supplies because New Iberia is in the middle of fucking nowhere, so it's like in between Lafayette and New Orleans.
No.
It's
They
in
say
between.
Lafayette,
Yeah,
don't they?
yeah, yeah. She got mad.
Lafayette.
That's what I was saying. I was like Lafayette, and she's like, "That's not how we call it down here." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "That's how you say it, right?" And she's like, "No, it's Lafayette." And I was like, "Oh, okay, my bad." I was like, "Sorry."
Sorry, you talk like an
Yeah,
idiot.
sorry.
My bad.
Sorry, but dude, it was fun. It's just funny the places that like when you go places and the things that they try to say that are
Oh,
one
yeah.
way. It's nuts.
Yeah.
But dude, my favorite place this year I've been to, Colorado, is by far the coolest.
Like Colorado, going
Yeah.
there. What was so cool about it?
So when I went, I was doing a job in Kansas City, and I knew that we were gonna have 1 or 2 days off. And this dumbass on the phone, he told me the 17th, the 17th, the 17th. He repeated himself multiple times. That that's the day that we were gonna start. I was like, okay, and so we take off. I go to Oklahoma, grab our checks and stuff, and I was like, well, we're going to take the scenic route to Colorado. We're going to come through the bottom, go through the mountains, and then we were going to stay somewhere in mid-Colorado, like on
This was your idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
You're badass.
Well,
You're just a badass. Let's
that's
just
like-
get that out of the way for
when
everybody
we went to
to know.
California, I stood on the corner of Winslow, Arizona. We stayed in Flagstaff,
That's so
straight
cool,
up, dude. And then I was like,
You're living. You're out here living.
I mean, to an
You're
extent.
living, bro.
To an extent, like
You are, dude.
I've seen everything that I've seen so far, and like it is a huge blessing. Like, dude,
For sure.
it gets to a point to where like you look at like me traveling, and you're like, man, that dude's living. And I look at you here with a family.
That
and I'm
dude's
like,
living.
That dude's living.
Yeah.
You know
it's
what I
two,
mean?
It's two sides to every coin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. As long
So-
as you're happy, enjoying life, that's what it's all about.
And don't get me wrong, I am, but like, dude, it's like I'm ready to have a youngin' to run around and like fuck with all the time. And
Well, you've
teach
done
them
the other shit.
Yeah, dude, I'm done with it.
You've done it, though. Like, you've lived it. So it's like, okay, I've been there. I've done that.
It's just like it gets to a point, like, and then you plan shit with someone, and then they're like, you
Well,
know
the
what I
cool
mean?
thing about it is, like, when you do have a kid one day, you can take your kid to do stuff that you've done and, like, let him experience it, and then take him to do stuff you haven't done. And, like, you both get to it. Like, I took my kid to see the Rocky statue in Philadelphia. It was so cool. We ran up the steps,
That's
the Rocky
dope.
steps, and at the top, have you been there? So at the top, there's his footprints, like they're in the pavement, and you can like put your feet in it and stand and look over Philadelphia. It's,
Like he did.
yeah, like just like he did. And
That's
put
dope.
like how he put his hand, or like he's doing the shadow
yeah.
boxing shit. Yeah, yeah. So it's like, dude, it was awesome. Like I've never experienced that. And then we went to this place called Jim's, which was the best cheesesteak I've ever had. It's in South Philly. Like South Philly is like downtown Wilmington, but like Yankee.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
huge. So it's in hood kind of. So it's like bad. There's like tall tables outside you can eat your Philly cheesesteak at. There's like I bought a Def Jam Records t-shirt sweater
From Def Jam
from
there.
no like from a record store in South Philly on
cool,
the.
cool.
It was so cool, dude. But yeah, like you'll get to experience stuff like with your kid that you've already done and then stuff you hadn't done, and it's just probably just as cool. So you can kind of like live both
Yeah,
worlds.
and see what the blessing is right now is like, yeah, of course I would like to be there, but like, dude, I get to live vicariously through like all my peeps right now,
Yeah.
and like eventually it's gonna come to a point to where like I'm gonna connect with someone and I'm gonna have a baby children.
And you're gonna appreciate it so much more.
Yeah.
So much more, dude. It's awesome, dude. It really is. I might have another one.
I know, dude.
Another little boy, dude.
Congratulations. It's gonna be
Gang,
awesome.
bro. Thank you,
He's gonna be
dude.
squatted up in here.
Dude, it's gonna be squatted up. Had my kid under my arm watching Toy Story this morning. He gets all like cuddles up right up underneath me. You know how little kids
Yeah.
are. He gets up right up underneath me, and I'm just like, damn, I'm about to have one on this side and one on that side. I'm like, this is crazy.
Kimba's stoked, huh?
Yeah, she's excited, and she's getting big, so it's like it's coming soon, bro. Like
Yeah,
it's.
I was trying to pop off Peach. This podcast is sponsored by Peach and High.
Oh man,
bottle.
dude, that's
So,
straight up
if you want
sugar
to turn,
water,
if
boy.
you want to turn up
Get
with
you
Peach
that
and
knee high, boy.
Yeah, that's just crisp.
That shit is crisp, bro.
Mm.
That's a good soda right there,
I mean,
son.
it's hard to beat. When you go and you get a Taylor ham sandwich from Taste of Oz,
Oh man.
and you slap a peach knee high on it, you're just
Oh.
you're live. I got antipasta in the fridge. Dude, you don't understand. I don't get to eat like this.
Taste of Italy is phenomenal.
Dude, it's hard to beat.
Okay, so their chicken parm wedge, their blackened chicken Alfredo, bro.
So good.
Oh my god.
People sleep on the blackened though.
No,
Like,
you
not
gotta
many
get the
people-
blackened. You gotta get the fucking blackened.
Not
dude.
many people fuck around with the blackened.
You gotta get it.
So a couple things that I'm super excited to eat while I'm here is I'm gonna go to some Los Portales because it's a chronic.
Real Mexican food.
Oh, dude, there's only
Authentic, made by real authentic Mexicans.
Authentics and things.
Made by real Mexicans, y'all.
Hey, dude, I'm telling you, probably I'm not kidding you. So my boss lives in Grove, Oklahoma.
What did I tell you to get from the Mexican place?
You
don't
told
remember,
me
do
to
you?
get the pork pineapple torta.
It's called pastor.
Pastor.
Pastor. Pastor torta. That's
I
all
get
you gotta tell them.
I get the
Pastor torta.
the queso pollo torta muy grande.
Is that
horchata.
queso chicken?
Yeah,
oh, that's
yeah.
probably phenomenal.
Dude, it's
Their
good.
chicken's really good. Their chicken quesadillas there.
Are good. But when you get the torta, you have to tell them because if you get it quesoed, you have to tell them that they have to cook it with it because that's like the cement to the sandwich. So like if you don't get the cheese, if you just get it thrown on there, it's not the same because you want the meat cooked with it because it holds it all together.
Ooh,
That's what
like
makes
that
it so
sticky.
good. Yeah.
That sticky icky,
Yeah.
bro.
And then of course I'm gonna go visit Ellie because I know that she's working at motherfucking pizza joint downtown New York. What is it?
I don't know.
What's
Slice?
No.
New York pizza?
New York pizza.
Or
downtown.
Brooklyn pizza?
No, the one downtown. New York pizza.
Is
Isn't
it New York
style
pizza?
pizza or
Yeah,
whatever?
the big fucking
Yeah,
greasy
yeah.
slices. Those
Dude,
are good.
That's good. And then there's that like the gourmet markets to the right across the street. They have some chronic. There's a woman here that makes that ice cream, and they have an apple pie flavor.
Ooh.
And it's so good. And you can go and get some stogies while you're in there, and then you can get you a little cup of ice cream, and then you can sit out on the river, and it's just enjoyable.
So the
evening.
lady in there told me she was going to sue me for taking a video in there. She was like, "Are you
What?
taking a video of me? I'll sue you."
Was she being evil?
Yeah, she was being a cunt.
See,
I was like, "Nah, I would never take a video of you."
the
And I
Indian
went like that.
the Indian guy normally runs it, right?
There was some, I don't know. There was some, I wasn't even, I was through the glass taking a video,
Oh
and she
my
told
God.
Reeves to tell me she was going to sue me
Oh,
if I was
Reeves.
taking a video of her.
What?
Can you believe that?
I thought that Indian guy owned and ran that
Maybe,
joint.
but I know
Because I
what-
know he took a bullet in there before.
Really?
Yeah, I'm almost 100%
Oh my
positive.
God.
And then you got Chops Deli, which is right on the corner.
Closed.
Which is that, no,
Closed.
What? All Chops are.
I'm pretty sure all Chops are closed. You know the guy that owned Chops got busted with
With
like
acid.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah.
I mean, he likes to party.
Yeah.
How you get mad at a dude?
yeah, like 100 hits of acid at
He
a
can
festival.
get mad at a guy who
Nah,
likes to have a good time.
but I'm
likes to
pretty sure. I
party.
know they shut the one downtown down, but there may be they had three.
What
of
about the one out on? So they had the one out here on Riceville.
I don't
and
know
then-
about that one.
And
I
then
don't-
they had a mom and pops, but it was like a soul food one down in I can't remember.
That's
what
the
it's
only one I've
called.
eaten at. Now I can't remember where it was at. But that dude, they got some killer Sammys.
Dude, and their mac and cheese, like they did their
Oh,
mac and
they got
cheese
brisket
specials.
mac and cheese and shit.
Oh god, they do the
Yeah.
pork. They
It's
do
making
the
me
Italian.
have to shit.
Ugh.
It's making me have to poop.
Dude, I love. People don't understand. They always ask me like, "Dude, why do you like Wilmington so much?" And I was like, "Well, for one, like I have like a pretty good like friend
Solid.
group there.
We're
like,
solid.
Yeah, dude, solid as fuck. I was
Yeah.
like, I got a pretty good family there. And then like the other reason is because the food is just so fucking
So
good.
good.
Like Baba Ganoush. Like
I
so
hadn't
now
had
it's
it. I hadn't
peñas.
had it.
Now it's peñas, but back in
It's
the
like
day, it was-
Mediterranean food.
oh my god, dude, they have a shawarma, a Greek shawarma, which is like fries. I don't get the garlic sauce. I get like the cucumber sauce. The garlic's too strong. I love garlic, but that shit's too strong.
Yeah.
So I always get the shawarma, dude, and they put like French fries and like the fucking goat meat or whatever they put on it. It is so good. I love it, dude.
We
love
got
it.
good food here, dude.
Solid. And you wouldn't ever think it. That's just like in Oklahoma, where my boss lives. There's a Mexican joint, and like I found out what he marinates his chicken in, and it's like the most absurd thing that you would ever think of. Like someone would marinate chicken in for real, but like it is the absolute best chicken I've ever had, ever, and it's in the middle of Oklahoma, in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
And
You've
it
probably
is
eaten at some
chronic.
cool spots.
Oh, dude. I've got to eat. So when I was in Bakersfield, I ate a lot of Mexican food when I went to California.
Yeah.
So like when I in
A lot
Arizona,
of Mexicans out there.
yeah, dude, it's heavy, and it was like you driving around in a 2017 dually truck, they fuck with you because
He got to work.
them
He got
brothers,
to work.
them brothers love some Chevys, man. They love
Oh
Chevys.
yeah, them Chevys, man.
And so like anywhere you whip in, and like it's my company truck, and like I told you earlier, there's talks of me grabbing it and whatnot, but like it's just like you go out west and you're in a Chevy. Like, dude, they will fuck with you. Like, they're just like, man, that's a nice Chevy, man. Where'd you get that Chevy? But so I got to eat a bunch of like Hispanic food. Like Arizona was cool. I went to Winslow just to stand on the corner, but I went to Flagstaff. Then we hit outside of Flagstaff and hit the southern rim of the canyon. And I was so sick, dude. Had a sinus infection. It was terrible because like you go from like 6,000 feet to like fucking 14,000 feet, and my ears are just like, and everyone's talking to me, and I'm mad as shit because I'm just trying to enjoy the Grand Canyon, and like I was so miserable, it was so bad. And then finally we came out of the canyon, which got to see a bunch of antelope and stuff like that. It was cool. I didn't know this about out west, but like pretty much you can go out there and like live and like say I want to stay at this part of this land, and you can claim it, and like there's squatter rights still.
Wow.
So like it's all public land, and
Wow,
you
that's
can
crazy.
go squat for like I think it's like 10, 15, 20, whatever it is, and then it's yours. And like most of the West is like that, and I didn't know that, and it's super weird. Like, cause you'll just be driving through a fucking desert, and you'll see a little hill, and it'll be a cut, and there'll be houses right there in that cut. And it's because there's still squatter rights and stuff.
Wow.
You can literally go out there and just like squat and kick it, and you have to fully self-sustain, make it an address, and live there for so many years, and then you own it.
Damn. That's crazy.
So it's all public land. So I'm pretty sure that like you can like hunt the antelope and all that. There's no lotteries and stuff on those animals and stuff. And there's a type of deer out there, and it's a white-tailed deer, but they call them something else. And they're
mule deer?
No, it's not mule. It's called something. I can't remember what it is.
I've seen them hunt them on Meat Eater. They're in the
Yeah,
desert. They're in
yeah.
the desert, and they're small.
Yeah, little
They're
body.
small deer. Yeah.
And I would like to go out there and hunt it just because I would like to do a bunch of shit.
What was
like
the
that.
name of that deer, dude? They were gnarly looking.
The ones up in Maryland are cool too. That he did.
They have the same. It's the same deer. It's the
same
same
bloodline.
It's the same kind of deer, but they act different whenever you get down into the
Inca deer or something. It's something
I don't know,
weird, dude.
But yeah, I saw the Maryland one too, where they're hunting them in the swamp.
Yeah, yeah.
How cool is that shit?
Dude, that would be so cool.
Where he shoots the doe, and then he's like, I didn't want to go pick it up because I thought a buck might be right behind
And
it.
they
Then the
come right
buck
behind
comes
it.
out, boom, and he drops them like within like
Dude,
feet of each other.
That's whose book I've been reading when I get.
Oh, Steve Ranella?
No. I've been reading Aldo Leopold's.
Who is that?
So he's the one that did the grass. I can't remember what it is, the name of it.
What made you bring that up though?
Because the Meat Eater. That's where I got it. Is that he was talking about it, and like so Aldo.
Steve Ranella was talking about this guy's book. Okay.
And so like he was like one of the first people in like conservation, and like he was going out and documenting what was scarce that year and what he walked up on and stuff like that. It's like the sand.
Dude, should we pick up Reeves' call on the podcast?
Yeah, let's do it. Sand Country's Almanac is what it's called.
I've never done this before. Hey, we're on a podcast and you're on speakerphone, so you're actually on the podcast.
Hey, Tanner.
Hey, what's up, Ravis? What you doing, man?
Love you.
I love you, guy.
I'm trying to figure out where the sound comes out of this thing at.
Hey, I was just gonna say I'm leaving Myrtle Beach now. I'll be there in like an hour.
My man.
Are you coming to see me or what?
Yeah, I'm coming to see you.
Or is
He
that,
said, "Are you coming to see me or what?"
was that just a bonus? Was it just a bonus that I'm
coming
here?
to see you.
Hey, dude, I was gonna see Thatcher the other day, but like I've tried calling that cat and everything. He just don't answer me.
I can't hear you.
Oh, it's okay because you're over there and I'm talking in the mic.
Yeah.
see
I
ya.
wanted to pick up your phone call on the podcast because I've never done it before.
I'll see you in like an hour 15 or so.
Word.
All right.
Later.
Dude, Revis.
I think it's cool when you're doing a podcast with somebody and you know somebody who's calling. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can just pick it up and let them rock with it because you can hear them in your headphones,
Yeah.
but you're
I
like
can't
when you
talk
take
to
your
'em.
headphone off, you can tell how far away you.
It's a good distance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, me and Revis go way back, man. Me and that dude, And then another cat so me and a cat that I was in treatment with, and him and a cat that he was in treatment with were like stupid tight, and we all moved into Launchpad, but we didn't know each other. You know what I mean?
You and Reeves did.
No. And so me and Zach shared a room, and Reeve and Thatch shared a room, but like we would literally in those little single fucking beds, Thatcher's big ass would sleep with Zach, and Reeves would sleep in my bed with me, and we would like have movie nights and stay in the same bed. Like these tiny ass twin bed, and like me and Thatcher are both like Thatcher's probably 6'4", and Zach's probably 6 foot. Reed's probably close 6.
Yeah, probably.
And and we're all in them twin, and we would like legitimately sleep there all night. I'd wake up and go to work, and them chuckleheads still be in the bed sleeping and
fucking
shit.
Lazy ass.
Dude, them sons of bitches never work. Josh Shipman would ride my fucking balls about everything, man. Them dudes would be up in there not work for fucking 8 months playing video games, not saying nothing to him. And he'd be like, Tanner, you didn't swoop, loop, and pull your shoes. You rabbit eared them.
Josh is something else, buddy.
Dude,
Me and him's done a podcast before.
I love the dude. He spoke for me when I got my first year and shit. And after all that shit happened, I relapsed and whatnot, and I was running the halfway house and all that shit. Dude won't speak to me.
Really?
Nah, he ain't spoke to me since.
Weird.
It's just like, nah. I mean, I think I understand it because I know how Josh is. You know what I mean? Like if he felt like I'm not saying I was his favorite by no means, but like he saw something different than me than he saw in other people, and he worked towards me more than he did other people, and I let him down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
that makes sense. That's a good way to look at it.
And I mean, that's the truth. I straight let him down because and it's just the same thing out of anything in life. Like you can't put expectations on people.
Yeah.
You can't, dude, because like it'll crush you.
Yeah.
If you put expectations on another human being, you are gonna get crushed.
At some point.
And that's so I'm talking to this person, and like we're just friends. She's a cool ass chick. But like that's what I told her off the rip. I was like, dude, don't put expectations on nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, because like that's when you get let down.
Yeah.
Like if you just let shit go and you roll and like let things kick it and shit like that, like that's gonna be like way better than you expecting something out of me and it not being what you expected, and then you're gonna be let down.
For sure.
And so like that's why I feel like what happened with Josh is like he wanted, and like don't get me wrong, like I did some stupid shit. I always will. Like we're human.
Right.
And what hurts me the most is anyone out of anywhere. Josh Shipman should understand as many times as no one gave up on him. You know what I'm saying? Like he been coming around the block for a second, and I'm not putting no one's business out there, but you know what I mean? Like he shouldn't have like just completely cut me because he done way. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
And it just like it hurts. It hurt my feelings, man. For real, I cried about it. I ain't scared to tell nobody I cried about it. I love Josh, man. I looked up to that dude for real. And, like, anytime that man asked for anything, I would do it.
Right.
And most of the time, I'd be like, fuck you, Josh, and then do it. But I would always do it.
Right.
And it's just, like, I love that dude to death. And I hate that, like, you know, it is what it is. But, like, maybe he can work on it and get through it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because I love him, dude. He's a great man.
So you're moving back?
Yeah, man. I'm looking for a place.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked. I can't be where I live, man. It's bad. All my friends are all fucking locked up or
come on back. We'd love to have you.
Banging some meth around and shit, dude.
That's terrible.
Walking around looking like scabbed up skeletons.
Ugh. God.
It's crazy, man.
Well, thanks for being on the podcast.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Anytime. Especially when you move back. Let's just start banging them out.
Dude, I'm down.
This is episode 93. So I'm almost at 100.
So we'll have to catch another one before I leave, and I'll give the full update on what's about to go down.
I'm down. For
and
sure.
I'll figure it out because, like I said, I got to look at a few places. I don't know exactly where I'm going to go. I'm trying to bring my boy down here with me because he needs out of where we live and shit. So
hell yeah. Well, and like I said, if you don't have shit to do, get up and come with us tomorrow. You'll love it.
Oh, dude.
It's fun. You'll love being out there.
I'm going to call him. Yeah, dude, because I ain't got shit to do.
I got everything you need. You don't need shit.
I'm going to call this dude when we actually get off here and be like, hey, man.
So you're not a felon?
Nah, bro.
So you could get a duck stamp?
Yeah. And dude, to be honest with you, I still have a North Carolina license. To be 100% honest with you.
So you could just go to Walmart and grab
Straight
it.
be like, let me get. But I haven't done hunter safety course here in North Carolina. Okay.
I just,
Yeah,
there's
you know
a
what
way
I'm saying?
around
You know
it.
what
You
I'm
know what I
saying?
mean? I'll tell you.
But yeah.
I'll tell you when we get off here.
I still got my.
Just don't fucking shoot me.
I
That's
won't,
the
dude.
safest thing.
I know, cause like, so I used to skeet shoot a bunch, so I know that like, from like here to here is what you shoot.
Yeah.
And then anything past that to your side, there's no shoot.
Yeah.
I used to skeet shoot all fucking time.
Yeah.
That's what I learned. That's when I started. Like, my dad had me on it young. He had me on it young, dude. I shot an
Hell
8-gauge
yeah.
goose gun. He fucked me up one time on it for real.
Ooh,
It was a goose.
that's tough.
It was like a It was like a 5. I think it was like 4.5, 5 foot barrel. You know, it was a goose gun.
Yeah.
Like old school goose
Yeah.
gun, but it was an 8-gauge. And he's like, oh,
Ooh.
you know, get out there. He's like, get out there and shoot that one. And like the shells on them were like that big, bro. And I was like, yeah, Dad, I got this. And I was probably 10. You know what I mean? Dude fucking laid me down.
I'm sure it did.
Single shot, dude.
When I shoot 3.5s out of the fucking Benelli I had, it would just blow
Slugs.
It would just blow my shoulder back, dude.
3.5 slugs.
Anything. 3.5 anything. It's just like, go.
Do you run the slugs or what do y'all? You guys, of course, use bird shot.
Yeah.
where-
I use 3-inch bird shot because my Remington won't shoot 3.5. I got an 870. It won't shoot 3.5 without fucking up the barrel eventually. Because it's like not rated for that, I guess.
So it mushrooms out. It'll start cracking there.
I have no idea. I'm not gonna shoot them. And I would shoot 4-inch ones if they made them. If they fucking made them, I'd shoot 4-inchers. Fuck it. But yeah, thanks for being on the podcast.
Man, thanks
we'll
for
go
having
smoke
me.
a cig and bullshit.
Yeah,
Thank you
dude.
guys for listening.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the YouTube. It'll help us out. We got like 100 and I think we got 125 or 40 or some shit subscribers, which is awesome. I just started reaching out to people asking them to subscribe, and like 75 people did.
Dude, I'm gonna reach
So-
out to some people. I guess I'll like hit up social media just for a second while I'm down here. Just
I'll have it loaded
Right.
up. You'll be able to send links to whoever if you
Hell
want. If
yeah.
you don't want to get on social media.
Hell
But yeah,
yeah.
thank you guys for listening. We're brought to you by Womack Electrical Contractors. Hit them up if you need any electrical work done. 910-231-7679. Ask for the owner and operator, Wesley Womack. Thank you guys. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.